the great Joshua Carty. Who? A kicker, an idiot kicker. Joshua Carty, the headliner. He kicked not one, not two, not three, but four field goals. And the Rams survive a clunker and beat the 49ers 12-6 on a Thursday night in what is a very important pivot point game in the NFC West playoff race, as one of these teams, they all wear the dunce cap in the NFC West, but one of them are going to the playoffs as a division winner and a home playoff game. This was the only NFL game this year that did not have at least one touchdown. This was it. This was it. A throwback, as Al Michaels pointed out on the broadcast, to that dreadful Colt-Bronco game a few years ago. But the Rams now move within a half game of division-leading Seattle. Don't choke, Gino. Do not choke when you got Green Bay coming in on Monday. Do not choke. Do not choke. I think it's Monday. Either Sunday or Monday. But don't choke, Gino. Now, the 49ers are now 5-8. Using Maller math, that tells me they are 3 games under 500. They led this game 6-3 heading to the fourth quarter. They obviously do not win the game, and now it's almost over. So let us discuss the question. What does this loss say about Kyle Shanahan's 49ers? So I've got Fat Lady, Rusted Out Container Ship, and Swiss Army Knife. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make some sourdough bread. Of course, the Niners are just sour. They're not the dough. They're not the bread. They're just sour. So, to be fair, this was a bumpy ride. All season it's been a bumpy ride, and not all precincts are reporting in, but the Ben Maller Show is calling this election over. The 49ers, done. Right now in the bowels of the team facility, the fat lady is stretching and warming up her vocal cords. Turn out the lights, the party's over. It was a nice run while it lasted. I feel bad for Ernesto and some of the super fans of the show in the Bay Area who love the Niners, but you guys have had it good the last couple of years. An NFC champ to chump. That's the story of the 49ers. The Niners, a shell of what they had been, and it's really the perfect storm this year. It's I, injuries and incompetence. Brock Purdy, this is an ugly situation. You talk about opening up Pandora's box. Brock Purdy, the poster boy here on this night, looking like Mr. Irrelevant for the 49ers, completed less than 50% of his passes, averaged less than 5 yards per pass on a rainy night in Northern California. Obviously no touchdowns, had an interception, a passer rating below 50. And that means that Brock Purdy played like a nag, not a jag. A jag is just a guy. A nag is not a guy. He's not a guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. And that opens up a major can of worms here because the Niners have to make a decision. Do you pay him or not? Do you give him the big money? Is there a world where the 49ers would trade Brock Purdy and then go out and try to sign Sam Darnold? I say there is that world. Right? And they know behind the scenes. I say this publicly, but this was not a ringing endorsement, not a sizzle reel game by any means for Brock Purdy against a Ram team that has been up and down on defense. He looked very pedestrian, not a guy that stirs the drink, not a guy that changes the game. And then you've got Kyle Shanahan, who has mastered blowing leads, and not only is the fat lady singing, also Porky Pig is saying, that's all, folks. All right, now, page 2. Now we get to the good stuff. A juicy subplot, a very juicy subplot emerged after the game. So the story within the story. Now, what is the juicy subplot, you're asking? What is it? Well, I'll tell you what it is. So 49er coach Kyle Shanahan let us know that linebacker DeAndre Campbell had decided he had had enough and he took his ball and went home. Metaphorically, of course, he didn't take the ball. He just walked off the field. So Kyle Shanahan revealing that the linebacker, DeAndre Campbell, decided he did not want to play anymore. I'm good, coach. I don't want to play. And he left in the middle of the game. He said, I'm out of here. He left the field in the third quarter. Now, Shanahan was non-committal immediately following the game regarding Campbell's future with the 49ers, but he did say that someone who doesn't want to play doesn't have a spot on his team. Really? That's a bold take. All right, so how should the 49ers handle DeAndre Campbell quitting in the middle of a game? An island game. Who cares if it's an island game or not? He quit. So the first thought is obvious. This is a dereliction of duties. You left your post. And so what the Niners have to do here, friendly advice, unsolicited advice for the Niners. You treat Campbell like an old, rusted-out container ship out in the Pacific Ocean. He must be decommissioned. The 49ers have been infected this season by dark energy. I don't know where it came from, but it's there. And DeAndre Campbell, he goes AWOL. He's not a foxhole guy. He's not a huddle guy. And he's not a football player. He's a waiver wire guy is what he is. Right? And let him go see a therapist or whatever and work out his issues. But he's not in the NFL. There's no place for that in the NFL. Because I'm sure there's plenty of other guys in the Niners that probably wanted to walk off the field and quit too the way they were playing. But they didn't. Right? You got to finish what you start. The code of the West. You finish what you start. Bad job by him. All right, last word. Let's go to the winning locker room where you can ram it all day and you can ram it all night, and that's what the Rams did. So what is your level of confidence in Sean McVay's LA Rams after winning this game? What is your level of confidence in the Rams winning the NFC West? So I'm going to go first. Maller's scale of confidence, 1 to 5, with 5 meaning it is a guarantee. A guarantee. So I am at a 4. Okay, I'm at a 4. Unexpected goodness. That's how I will phrase this. Unexpected goodness. And now, some of you know, those of you that actually pay attention, but I realize that most people that listen to audio content only hear a fraction of what I'm saying, you only process a little bit of what I'm saying. But I like the Rams. I grew up. That was, as Looney Tunes, teleprompter Tom says on the TV show, that is the team of my youth, the LA Rams. I loved them when I was a kid, and now as an adult, I'm a jaded middle-aged man, so I just like whoever I bet on. But I still have a place in my heart for the Rams. And listen, we thought going into this game, I thought the Rams were going to lose this game. And they impressed me. Right? In years past, that would have been an L. I don't care how bad the Niners were playing going into the game. The Rams would have found a way to gag that game. And that has been the kryptonite for Sean McVay. Kyle Shanahan has had McVay's number. The Niners have had good teams in the regular season. Of course, the biggest matchup between Shanahan and McVay was in the NFC Championship game, a game I was lucky enough to be at and a few years ago, and the Rams won that game to go to the Super Bowl. But that aside, you look at the ingredients here. Rainy, cool night. 49ers have had their number. Short week. A defense that has not played particularly well. Spotty defense for the Rams. All the ingredients for a free fall, a gag in years past. But instead, the Rams win a game without a touchdown for the first time since 2016. The last time a Ram team won a game where they did not score a touchdown. They showed moxie. They showed gumption, grit, all those big words, all that stuff. And the thing to me that I'm going to take away from this game, and I jotted this down on my the notes thing on my iPhone, whatever you call it. I think it's called the notes thing. So Matthew Stafford bridging the third quarter into the fourth quarter. To me, this was a defining moment, a point of demarcation for the Rams and for the entire season. They orchestrated a 17-play, 9-minute and 45-second drive. They just ate the clock up. They ended up only getting a field goal, but that's the kind of a drive. If you can bottle that up, if you're the Rams, if you can bottle that up and do that down the line in a playoff game, that's the kind of thing that gets you to beat a big, bad Lion team or a big, bad Philadelphia Eagle team in a playoff matchup. You hold the ball for 9 minutes and 40-something seconds on a drive. And it was The game time was 35 minutes in favor of the Rams. The Niners had it for less than 25 minutes. So it was a huge advantage for the Rams in time of possession. And they ran, I think it was 12 more plays, which it's a lot, but it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. So just all around for the LA Rams, a big-time performance. And the Rams the last week, less than a week, the Rams have shown to be a Swiss Army knife team. You don't want to play a Swiss Army knife team. You don't. And it was fun. I was on with my friend Bob Fesco on his show in Kansas City yesterday in the morning, and I was half asleep, half awake, one of those deals. But Dusty, who's on that show, he was like, there's no team you'd rather play or not want to play than the Rams. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't trust the defense. But the fact that the Rams were able to win a game where it was an absolute barn burner with the Buffalo Bills, and they outlasted Josh Allen, giving up 6 touchdowns, and now they win a slugfest, just a ugly game with the Niners. That is winning Swiss Army knife style, winning multiple ways. Use the large blade. You can use the bottle opener, all that stuff, the corkscrew, any of those things. So that does bode well, and the Rams are on brand. They were 1-4 to start the year. The Rams are 7-2 since that 1-4 start, and they already have a win in hand over the Seattle football team. Right? They won that game in Seattle. So you're looking at that, and that's who they're chasing right now. The Cardinals are falling apart in the division. And the Rams, they have the Jets, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks to close out the year. They should win every one of those games. They will be favored in every one of those games to close the year out. Cardinals and Seahawks at home, Jets in Jersey. And so they're set up. Now, don't screw up. That's really the story here.